There was a time not too long ago when TV was absolutely unhinged. I'm talking about the early 2000s when MTV, VH1, and basic cable cranked out reality shows that honestly feel like fever dreams looking back. We had dating shows where people went through each other's bedrooms before even meeting, like Room Raiders. Then we had a show about bratty teens preparing for their sweet 16th birthday party, and if they didn't get a car, well, you know they're gonna be pissed. We had dating shows where Flavor Flav and Bret Michaels tried to find love in mansions filled with chaos and drunk girls. Or maybe you wanted a show where people just roasted each other back and forth telling yo mama jokes. There was something for everyone. I mean, Flavor of Love, Rock of Love, I Love New York, they weren't just dating shows, they were gladiator arenas with tequila shots and bad decision making at the main event. And let's not forget the classics like Parental Control, where parents literally picked out their new partners for their kids right in front of their old partners. Or Pimp My Ride, where contestants would take their broken, beat up, barely running cars and get it totally made over, at least physically, and leave with a dope looking car that has 20 plus screens in it playing exhibit music videos and still doesn't drive right, but at least it looks nice. Pimp My Ride had us thinking that every car needed a hot tub and 3 PlayStations. Next had people getting rejected before they even stepped off the bus. And Room Raiders, man, blacklights should have never been allowed on TV in the first place. Reality TV in the 2000s wasn't just wild, it was completely unhinged. So grab your flip phone, turn your MySpace profile song up, and let's deep dive back into the absolute chaos that was the 2000s reality TV. Because trust me, you've probably forgotten just how crazy it really was. All right, let's take a look first at Room Raiders. So back in the mid 2000s, there was a show that somehow made it perfectly acceptable to break into someone's room, inspect their belongings, and judge their entire life in under 20 minutes all before meeting them. And that show was Room Raiders. Okay, I just realized that the show Room Raiders is a play on words for Tomb Raider, right? Like Tomb Raider, Room Raider, you invested. Anyway, did y'all know that Zac Efron was on this show? Look.
This episode, watch 3 hopeful singles get the surprise of their lives.
Oh my God!
When they find out they're going to be picked for a date with Zac.
Hooray!
The catch is they can't use their looks or charm to win him over. They will be judged by what he finds in their rooms.
You need to clean your brush.
The premise was that 3 men or women would have their rooms inspected or raided by another single man or woman, and they have no idea whose room they're looking at. And in the end of the episode, the raider chooses to go on a date with one of them based on the contestant's room alone. I'm a pretty cool guy, but if I do say so myself, I'll be honest. Please don't judge me off my room. Please get to know me first. Don't judge me off just the room. I feel like that would not. Anyway, so the 3 contestants watch and comment on the raid while sitting in a van as their rooms are inspected one after another. And after the raider finishes with each of the rooms, the 3 contestants then raid the raider's room. So this is where the plot thickens, because now they can decide if they want to proceed on the date or not. So the raider will raid the rooms of the 3 people, and then they're gonna pick a person. But before that person finally accepts the date, the raidee gets to look at their room, and yeah, then they get to decide, hey, yeah, based off what I've seen, I want to go on a date with you, something like that. This show threw out the standard dating format and replaced it with a blacklight and a van full of strangers. Yes, a very wild combination. And honestly, Room Raiders was about finding out if you kept your room clean and if you owned anything embarrassing you wouldn't want put on TV. Basically, a way to make assumptions about a person even without meeting them. I feel like the real star of the show was the blacklight, and if you don't know why, just Google it. Producers wielded that thing like it was a mass weapon of embarrassment. I'm pretty sure more people learned the importance of clean sheets from Room Raiders than any public service announcement. I mean, just the fear that one day someone would break into your room and start judging you immediately, like, though it had questionable ethics and an evasive premise, it was wildly entertaining. Where else could you watch someone's dignity get absolutely demolished because they left their underwear on the floor in their own room? I mean, look, that was peak 2000s insanity. Teenagers being embarrassed. Looking back, it's a miracle no one was sued for invasion of privacy, but I guess at the same point, that's part of the charm. And also, it's reality TV. You signed up for the show. It wasn't that much of a surprise. You knew a week from now, hey, my room's gonna be raided, this random person's gonna come, unless they like randomly actually did show up. But no, they couldn't randomly show up. You had to be in the van on the day they were filming, so there you couldn't be in your room, right? So to get the underwear off the floor, the producers were probably planning stuff all throughout people's rooms. It wasn't that much of a surprise, but the biggest surprises were left for this next show, Pimp My Ride.
So you want to be a player, but your wheels ain't flying. You gotta hit us up to get a pimped out ride. You've got to pimp my ride. Damn right.
We all know Pimp My Ride. If you haven't seen the show, you know the memes. Pimp My Ride is a show hosted by West Coast rapper Exhibit, who brings some great energy and jokes to the show. Each episode featuring someone with a car belly held together by duct tape and prayers, and their car would be sent to West Coast Customs to transform it from a headache basically to a pimped out transformer. The cars literally had everything in them, from aquariums in the trunk to popcorn machines in the backseat, a jacuzzi, even full gaming setups, and don't forget the TVs. In one episode, they literally put TVs on the outside of the car, like not like, oh, it's in the trunk and when you get out the car. No, they were like on the bumpers, on the wheels. Like it's crazy. It was ridiculous, over the top, and absolutely perfect for the time. I mean, who cared if half of the mods were impractical? It was peak excess. But looking back, the more you think about it, the more you realize those upgrades weren't really sustainable. I mean, where are you gonna park a car with a chandelier inside? Plus, some of the Pimp My Ride cars started to explode. The upgrades were mostly cosmetic, so any oil changes or engine issues that existed previously weren't fixed. But at the time, it didn't matter. Exhibit would say, "We heard you like gaming, so we put a PlayStation in your steering wheel." Or, "We see that you a nurse, so we put an MRI machine inside of your whip."
Oh my God.
Your own mobile CAT scan machine. So now you and your homie can lay on the bed and y'all can scan each other.
Oh. You just accept it. Like, it is what it is. Your backseat is gone. You can no longer have friends in your car, but it's gonna look cool. You're gonna look cool driving it. For a lot of people, Pimp My Ride wasn't just a show, it was a fantasy. I hope that one day Exhibit would show up to your house and fix your crappy ass car. I mean, it was everything we loved about the 2000s. Bold, unnecessary, and loud. But the loudest and most bold show had to be Yo Mama. And no, I'm not talking about your actual mom. I wouldn't do that. That's mean. But I mean, your mom did tell me that you'd be so dumb if you didn't like and subscribe to my channel so I could hit 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, Yo Mama, a TV show hosted by Wilmer Valderrama, known for playing Fez in that 70s show. And this MTV series took trash talking to the next level, pitting contestants against each other in a rapid fire Yo Mama jokes battle. The setting was random neighborhoods, garages, and even alleyways where the insults flew fast around an audience of spectators, and sometimes their actual moms would be there in the audience. It's kind of crazy. I actually had a teacher who said she was on this show, and I didn't believe her. I ended up looking up like going through all the episodes and looking at the thumbnails, and there she was, which was crazy to me. The charm of the show was honestly, it was so simple. So I love the simplicity of it. There were no elaborate sets, no big budgets, no gimmicks. I mean, just pure verbal warfare.
Mama breath so stinks she don't use Listerine strips, she use Listerine loose leaf paper. Your mom is a dyslexic hooker. For $50, she'll sick your duck.
And the best part was the final round also involved going through each other's homes to dig up material for the next round of roasts. Yeah, kind of seeing a pattern here. MTV loved for you to go through other people's stuff. Any memorabilia, anything that brought that person joy, you could roast them about it. Best believe if you had something embarrassing in your room or pictures, it was going to be talked about, and they're going to talk to your mom and then get to know her, and then they're going to roast her to her face. Looking back, Yo Mama was raw, it was unfiltered, and surprisingly hilarious. I mean, the prize was simple. You win, you get cash money. It was a perfect snapshot of how much fun you could have just with good old-fashioned battle of clever insults. I mean, it was ridiculous, but like most 2000 reality shows, that was part of the charm. And I'm not claiming that all the jokes in the show have aged perfectly for 2025, but at the time, it was a classic for me. It was good. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. Speaking of aged, MTV started to capitalize on the trend of people throwing huge parties for their 16th birthday, and thus my super sweet 16 was born.
My birthday's in 2 days. Woo!
Sometimes turning 16 ain't so sweet.
Don't try to say that the world doesn't revolve around me because today it does.
If there was ever a reality show that perfectly captured the absurdity of teenage entitlement, it was My Super Sweet 16. MTV handed us basically front row tickets to the most extravagant, over-the-top birthday parties imaginable. We're talking celebrity performances, luxury cars, and enough drama and stress to fill a stadium. 16-year-olds with essentially unlimited budgets because their rich parents and egos the size of their guest list would throw tantrums over and over because their Ferrari was the wrong color or the red carpet isn't long enough to fit all my friends. Oh no. MTV, for many of us, it was like watching a live action version of a fairy tale, if that fairy tale was written by someone who really, really loved materialism. The invitations were always a source of chaos. If you didn't get one, it was a social suicide. And if you did get one, you better show up on time and be in place ready for my grand entrance. Looking back, the show was an absurd display of wealth and ego, but it was also capitalizing in the same way that you can't look away from a car crash. I mean, I was under 16 when I was watching the show at the time, so I won't lie when I said it gave me a cool idea of what I thought I wanted for my 16th birthday party. It was a glimpse into a world where turning 16 meant more than getting a driver's license. It meant launching a full-scale Hollywood production, and for that, we loved every over-the-top second of it. But here comes what many might consider the flagship reality TV show, the dating shows. Before dating shows were trying to see if love was blind or popping balloons, there was a time when finding love involved outrageous challenges, mansions, and women's drunk off their ass. I think the first one of these was actually Flavor of Love, which was Flavor Flav's love show and ran for 2 seasons. The show had a popular girl named Tiffany New York Pollard, and she was so popular. She is still quoted to this day on TikTok. You know that sound is like, you know, you have 30 minutes.
Do you know you have 30 minutes? Are you kidding me? 30, yes.
It was so popular that she ended up getting her own show called I Love New York, where she went to go find love. And on that show, she had a guy named Frank the Entertainer, and he got his own show called Frank the Entertainer in a Basement Affair. Basically, he was a basement. He lived in the basement with his parents, and he found love that way. On I Love New York, there were also 2 brothers or twins called Real and Chance. And guess what? They got their own spinoff, Real Chance of Love. Bro, they were really milking these love shows as much as possible. If anyone had an opportunity to redeem themselves or get a spinoff or do whatever they could, it was like a casting director's wet dream. They would do whatever they could to get someone on another show. This was like prime VH1 at this time. There was also Tila Tequila's Double Shot at Love, where she was dating both guys and girls. There was Bret Michaels, a member of the rock band group Poison. He had his own show called Rock of Love, and I think his show was probably the wildest. I could be wrong. I mean, these girls were like flashing him every 3 seconds, and Brett kept talking about how he was having a hard time being near all the women because all the hormones and stuff.
When I looked at Tiffany, there was part of her that said, just make love to me right now. Oh yeah, that's good. And then there was a part of her that said, I'm on a lot of chemicals right now.
Rock of Love had a contestant called Daisy, and she ended up getting her own spinoff called Daisy of Love. All of these shows were chaos personified. Contestants would create alliances, start drama, and engage in some of the most ridiculous challenges imaginable. Flavor of Love gave us the unforgettable spit incident, which was iconic and is still remembered to this day, while Rock of Love was practically a tour bus party disguised as a dating show. And I Love New York, man, that was just pure unfiltered reality TV gold. VH1 was cooking. New York knew how to bring the drama, and she did it effortlessly. Definitely the reason why she got her own show, and they continued to bring her on other shows. I mean, for better or worse, these shows were like the blueprint for reality dating. They were messy, dramatic, and sometimes borderline unwatchable. That's what's made them legendary. They weren't just shows, they became part of culture. I mean, after all these shows, they made even more spin-offs. There was Charm School, which lasted for 3 seasons, and they would take like the female contestants from other dating shows like Rock of Love and Flavor of Love and bring them in to basically teach them manners and change their ways so they could be productive members of society. And then there was I Love Money, which was a competition television show where they took multiple contestants again, but from different types of love shows. So Rock of Love, Flavor of Love, For Love of New York, all of those shows together. And they would compete to basically win different challenges and games for, you guessed it, money. I mean, I really like the show idea. It kind of felt like what Marvel has done for years, slowly introducing us to characters with different stories, getting us invested in them, and then bring them all together for some special event. I think the show had like 3 or 4 seasons, so it was for sure successful. I mean, VH1 was in their bag during this period. It was amazing. Oh shoot, I almost forgot. For the Love of Ray J, he had a show too. I think that ran for like 2 seasons. Basically the same premise. Ray J and a bunch of girls going crazy, competing for his love. All in all, if you're watching any of these shows back then, you knew you were witnessing something special. Even if you couldn't quite explain why, from teenagers getting their rooms raided to someone getting their dusty ass car fixed up with 20 TVs and a pool table. The era is so nostalgic to me and so magical. I love it. It was a time where reality TV started taking off. The more spectacle, the better. These shows were just peak 2000s for me. They didn't just reflect the era, they helped define it. And you can help define my YouTube channel by liking and subscribing if you haven't already. If you're a new member, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. I appreciate all of you guys' comments from my last videos were so nice and so awesome. So I really appreciate that. Let me know if there are any other topics you guys want me to cover. I have some other videos that I think a lot of you are looking for that will be coming out very soon. Just stay patient. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.